Welcome back to Manosphere Daily. Today, we're diving into yet another wild scenario. She wants child support after riding the carousel with dozens of men. It's the same story we've seen time and time again. A woman makes reckless choices, ignores the good men, and then suddenly expects financial support when reality hits. We're breaking down how modern dating, accountability, and family courts all play into this mess. Before we get started, take a second to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. And don't forget, share this video with your friends to keep the conversation going.
Statistics have shown that in marriages where the child was given birth to between 2004 till date, over 95% of the first children are results of paternity fraud. You know what to do. If you don't get it, forget about it. I don't waka.
Do you think men should have a say in abortions?
No.
Why not?
It's not their body, it's not their choice.
Not their choice? So should they pay child support?
Should they pay child support?
Yeah, like if he didn't want the baby and you wanted the baby, should he pay child support?
No. When it, like, especially in situations like that, I'm very understanding because men shouldn't have to force pay a bill that they didn't want to accept.
Okay.
Like real shit, like if he doesn't want the baby and he's willing to pay for the abortion, it doesn't like, oh, how you feel about, oh, da, da, da. Like, but when people agree, like I'm not ready for this situation, you have to come to some type of understanding.
You have capped out. According to Texas guidelines, your gross is $9,200 a month.
Say make money, money, make money, money, money.
Child support is set at $2,300. You're going to do a reimbursement to Medicaid for $276, making your monthly child support payment $2,576.
That's how much you gotta pay.
No, that's how much you got to pay.
No, the tables have turned, haven't they?
City boy! City boy!
The children live with him. He should not pay you anything.
I give her a taste of her own medicine.
And I said I made my ruling, so I really don't have to hear anything further. Did you have any questions about that number?
Thanks for the free money, bitch.
Man, she really must be messing up if she didn't get custody and she has to pay him. Please take a second and subscribe. It would help me out and I would appreciate it greatly.
Oh, so now she wants child support after spending years riding the fun train with every dude in town. Suddenly, it's, where have all the real men gone? Ma'am, they left the chat when you were out here treating good men like Uber rides, hopping in, using them for a bit, then ditching them without a second thought. Now, after exploring her options, reality hits harder than a past due bill. Suddenly, stability sounds real attractive, but the only problem? The good men she ignored have standards now. And spoiler alert, paying for someone else's bad decisions is not on the list.
So are you both prepared for these results? Why wasn't your biological father in your life? What were you told?
I was told that he actually left my mother when she was 6 weeks pregnant with me.
Wrong.
Mr. Dennis, you say that's wrong.
Yes, ma'am.
Please tell the court what your position is.
Because when me and her mother were married, I was a truck driver at the time. And on Memorial Day weekend, I was down in Florida. I called her phone. She is out on the lake in the middle of the night by herself on an antique wooden boat with her ex-boyfriend while her children are up on the bank.
Your wife at the time was cheating.
Yes, ma'am.
While you were on runs as a truck driver.
Yes, ma'am. Because of that, I moved to Arkansas. She started the divorce proceedings. And then I got a letter in the mail stating that the proceedings had stopped due to her pregnancy. I have requested from her mother, and I have proof for DNA test and everything else, that I have been denied by courts from her mother and everybody else.
Jerome, will you please hand me Mr. Dennis's evidence? What is this, sir?
That is proof of the DNA request that I have requested from the courts. But with her mother denying, I could not get a DNA test.
Mr. Dennis, you say you have been denied
by courts
the DNA test that you've needed.
Yes, ma'am, for 23
20-something years.
Yes, ma'am.
You have been homeless.
I have been homeless because I can't pay rent, pay my bills because my checks have been garnished. 66 1/3% of my check. And I can't pay rent. I can't do nothing. I don't have a life. And I have got the proof of my rares what I'm back owed.
Jerome, let me see that, please. And I can see this makes you emotional because you believe you did the right thing in the beginning by requesting a DNA test.
Yes, ma'am.
You truly felt like at that time your wife had been unfaithful to you.
Yes, ma'am.
And you asked for a DNA test.
Yes, ma'am.
You were not granted it.
Yes, ma'am.
From that point on, you were responsible for child support each and every month over the last 20-something years, and you've now just presented to the court
the rares I'm behind.
That your payments are approximately $300 every single month.
Whatever,
and you are $146,918.51 in arrears.
And I look over my shoulder every day in fear of going to prison.
And then this cycle just kept continuing?
Yes, ma'am, because I can't even get my driver's license. The reason I haven't been there is because I don't believe she is my child. Her mother had denied me a DNA test, so why would I believe the child's mine? Why would I want to get involved with the child and come to find out years later that the child's not mine anyway?
Because if your wife had gotten pregnant by you and it was your child, but you were confused or doubtful, what's the point? Let me just prove them wrong and let's have this DNA test so you can be quiet. These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics, and they read as follows. In the case of Dennis versus Dennis, when it comes to 22-year-old Sheila Dennis, it has been determined by this court. Mr. Dennis, you are the father.
I'm sorry. Thank you. Sorry, baby.
It's good to finally meet you.
Same here. I'm sorry for all the wasted years.
Thank you.
I apologize. It's not your fault. We can try to grow from here.
Thank you. I like that a lot.
I love you. I want the world to know this is my daughter.
I missed her. 23 years has gone by in life that we can't never get back. Thank you, Your Honor.
She's out here acting like she was running a dating experiment, except the experiment went terribly wrong and now she wants a financial bailout. But let's be real, she wasn't looking for love back then, she was just collecting good times like Pokemon cards. Now that she pulled the wrong one, she expects someone else to foot the bill. Yeah, that's gonna be a no from us. And here's the kicker, the same, boring, stable men she once laughed at are now the ones she's looking for, but guess what? They're not signing up to be your ATM with extra steps. Because let's be honest, child support isn't about helping the kid half the time, it's about keeping those designer handbags and brunch dates going.
Child support and back pay from this man?
Okay, just straightforward, that's what I like, just get right into it. How old is the child?
The child is now 3 years old.
3 years old.
And I have not received any child support.
In 3 years?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right, sir, is there a reason you haven't given her any child support in the past 3 years?
Yes, ma'am, there is.
What is that?
We've been discussing the paternity obligation.
Okay.
Under the circumstances, you know, I don't think I was the only person having a fling with Rocky at the time that you know, she and I had that time together. And,
excuse me? Are you implying something?
Well, what I'm trying to say is that I understand that you may have been seeing some other people in addition to me. And the reason that I haven't provided
well, those are rumors.
I understand that.
All,
I understand that. But you haven't complied with my request for DNA tests either, and that's my key. Is that if I have an obligation, I like to make sure it is my obligation and not the obligation of some other father.
Well, maybe you should have been obligated to your wife whenever you were having an affair with me.
You know, you're right about that. And honest truth is,
you are admitting that you're married?
Yes.
Okay.
And I've told her. I've told her that we had this fling.
You didn't
told
tell
your
me you
wife
were married until after.
That's correct. That's correct. I did not tell you.
I'm sorry, I won't disrupt you guys anymore. Go ahead.
So, from my perspective, Your Honor, I certainly understand the situation. I'm not trying to be hard-hearted, so to speak, about this, but I think that there's some other questions that need to be answered before we agree on paying any kind of support, because at this point, we haven't confirmed whose child this is.
Okay, well, I definitely have some questions too, but I don't think they have anything to do with child support. It's more about you guys' backstory, but that has nothing to do with me. However, has this man taken a DNA test at all?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay. Did he sign anything at the hospital?
No, he wasn't
acknowledging that he was the father? Okay, so he does have a valid point. Before we can actually place him on child support, he either has to accept parentage, which, according to what I'm hearing, you're really not accepting it.
He's in denial about his affair and doesn't want his wife to find out.
My wife knows.
Oh,
Yeah,
she
right.
knows now.
Ah, he's lying.
You told her?
I would have heard from her by now. I work with him, ma'am.
Oh. At the welding place?
I'm a receptionist there. That's how we met.
You're her direct manager. Oh, okay. Ooh, wasn't expecting that much tea this morning. So, yeah, he's entitled to a DNA test.
Sure.
Okay, so before we can move forward with anything in terms of child support, looking at your financial documents you provided, he first needs to get a DNA test. So what I can do is you guys go and get the DNA test, then you can come back at a later date, possibly, if he's the father. If he's not the father, you're more than welcome to bring back as many people as necessary. I'm not implying by any means that what he's saying is true.
Right, he's
but if
definitely
he's
the
not
father.
the father, you can bring back as many people as necessary to get DNA tested, and we actually find the father and place him on child support.
Well, I know who it is, so that's not necessary, but thank you.
Okay. Is there anything further?
Your Honor, can we get your assistance in having this thing compelled so that we can get this DNA testing done expeditiously?
Oh yeah, most definitely. And it will be done through the Attorney General's office.
Okay.
Because they are actually on site in the courtroom, and it will be in the courthouse rather. And it will be much easier and free to you all to go ahead and use their resource. Okay? If there's nothing further, you all are dismissed.
Thank you.
Rocky,
You're welcome.
if I have obligations here, I'll stand behind them.
I appreciate that.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So now, she's on social media posting, "Men ain't real providers anymore," but what she really means is, men aren't volunteering to fix my bad decisions. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is called accountability, and apparently, it's still on backorder.
Fellas, these are the types of women that you have to avoid. Avoid. Watch this.
There's so much talk about a woman's body, her choice, and like that. Yeah. My question is, if we give a woman the right to opt out of motherhood, should we also give a man the right to opt out of fatherhood and 18 years of child support?
I agree. You don't agree?
No, I don't know.
The bitch with the glasses, those are the type of women that will get pregnant by you. Then they will go to the law, family courts, and drain you out of every cent you work hard for.
But if a mom walks into an abortion clinic and says, you know what, I'm not feeling this, and gets an abortion, the dad has no say, how come this mom can't, let's just say.
Well, he could obviously sign his rights away, but he cannot physically make
he can't, but he can't sign his rights away because he has to pay child support. I mean, he is legally bound by child support.
Honest, that's just the way it is.
I know, but
Go on my YouTube. Let's discuss this right now. YouTube.com/MaxSoNice. Let's go.
Oh, now she's out here demanding child support, acting like she signed up for a 401k plan instead of a series of bad decisions with dudes who don't even save their own phone contacts. Ma'am, you weren't exactly prioritizing stability when you were out there treating life like an all-you-can-date buffet. Now you want a refund? Yeah, that's not how this works.
it's crazy because she was a friend of my cousin at the time. Again, I'm 12 years old. This is in 1990, so it was a different time back then. So it's like I met her the day that we attempted to do something. That was the first day I met her.
Okay.
I'm 12 years old.
Right.
And it gets even.
How old was she?
I think she was 14 or 15.
Okay.
And it was being my first time.
Mm-hmm.
I never even been.
Okay.
Like, I never met her at all. So as time went on, it's like, okay, she had a baby, but it's like, okay, what is it my child? Again, now I'm 13 years old. We're in 1990. There's no communication between families and things of this nature. And that's the last that I heard of it until 2003, when I got a call from HR saying that they finished our garnishing my checks.
She spent years picking men based on vibes instead of values, and now she's shocked that she ended up with a baby daddy instead of a husband. Ma'am, when you prioritize fun over foundation, you don't get to act surprised when your house falls apart. And let's talk about the irony. These same women who were screaming, "I don't need no man," are now front row at the courthouse like it's a concert, demanding that the government force a man to stay in their lives by a direct deposit. The only thing missing is popcorn and a standing ovation. Oh, and let's not forget how choosy she suddenly gets when looking for a provider.
I just found out my wife just left her corporate job for a cashier job because she wants to get out of the payments what she's doing.
Payments of what?
Child support, ma'am.
Is there a reason why you're not paying to support this child?
I left my job and I did do it intentionally.
Wait a minute. You intentionally left your job?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
How much did you make at your last job?
Annually, $70,000. Now I work at a convenience store.
How much are you making now?
$30,000 a year.
What's the qualification to work at that job?
You just need a high school diploma.
High school diploma?
Yes,
and you have a master's degree. I'm not about to play with you. Ma'am, I'm going to make you pay child support. $899.60 is going to be your monthly child support obligation that you're going to pay each month to this man.
Play with yourself, not the system.
When she was out here dating for fun, any dude with a tattoo and a motorcycle qualified. But now she's looking for a man with a six-figure salary, a stable career, and the patience of a saint. Newsflash, those men have options too, and they're not looking to fund somebody else's good times phase. And the best part? Now she's on social media with posts like, "Where have all the good men gone?" Ma'am, they're happily married to the women who chose them before their bad decisions caught up with them. At the end of the day, this isn't about child support, it's about choices. And unfortunately, bad choices don't come with a refund policy. And that's a wrap on today's discussion. If you found this video insightful, entertaining, or just straight up eye-opening, be sure to hit that like button, it really helps the channel grow. Make sure to subscribe to Manosphere Daily and turn on notifications so you never miss a new video. And don't keep this conversation to yourself, share this video with your friends and help spread the message. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.
And that wraps up today's episode of Manosphere Daily. If you enjoyed the content, give it a like. Be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you're notified as soon as a new video is out. Share your thoughts in the comments below. See you all tomorrow.